You know that moment, when everything you've been planning for months, finally comes together? That moment when you're standing there, sipping your tea, watching your brother scream like a banshee, as his precious car gets hooked up to a tow truck? Yeah. That was me. Last Tuesday morning. "Don't touch my car," he yelled. His voice cracking like he was 12 years old again. But this time, I wasn't the scared little sister hiding in the corner. I took another sip of my chamomile tea. Slow. Deliberate. The porcelain cup warm against my fingers. And I watched, as the tow truck driver completely ignored my brother's tantrum. The morning air was crisp. Birds were chirping. It was actually a beautiful day for justice. My brother was jumping around like some kind of deranged monkey, waving his arms, screaming about lawsuits and police calls. But here's the thing that made me smile into my teacup. He had no idea this was just the beginning. See, for 28 years, my brother thought he was untouchable. He thought that because mommy and daddy gave him everything, because he was the golden child, because he made my life a living hell growing up, that he could just keep taking from me. He thought wrong. The tow truck made this satisfying mechanical whirring sound as it lifted his black BMW, his pride and joy, his baby, off the ground. And my brother, he actually started crying. Real tears streaming down his face. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered. I remembered the time he sold my textbooks for drug money. I remembered when he stole my college fund. I remembered every single time my parents chose him over me. So I took another sip. And I watched his car disappear down the street. This story, this beautiful, messy, satisfying story, starts way before that tow truck. It starts in childhood. It starts with a family that taught me I was worthless, and a brother who made it his mission to prove it. But it ends with me holding all the cards. And him, well, let's just say he's learning what consequences feel like. Are you ready? Because this gets so much better. Let me paint you a picture of my childhood, because you need to understand why watching that car get towed felt like Christmas morning. My name is Sarah. I'm the younger sister. And in my family, that meant I was the mistake. My brother Jake, he was the golden boy from day one. Captain of the football team, straight A's, full scholarship to college. Everything he touched, turned to gold. Everything I touched, well, according to my parents, turned to disappointment. When I was 8 years old, Jake convinced me to climb our neighbor's fence to get a baseball. I fell. Broke my arm in 2 places. And when we got to the hospital, my mother looked at me and said, "Why can't you be more careful like your brother?" I'm not making this up. Those were her exact words. While I'm sitting there, with my arm bent at an angle that arms shouldn't bend. But that's nothing compared to what happened when I was 15. I had saved up, for an entire year, babysitting the neighbors' kids every weekend, to buy my first car. A beat-up Honda Civic. $500. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Jake needed money for some party. Some stupid fraternity thing. And instead of getting a job like a normal person, he went to my parents. Told them some sob story about how this party was networking for his future career. So they took my car. My car. Sold it. Gave him the money. When I found out, when I came home from school and saw my car was gone, I confronted them. All 3 of them. Standing in our kitchen like some kind of tribunal. "Sarah," my father said, not even looking up from his newspaper. "You're being dramatic. Jake needed the money more than you needed a car. But it was my money, I whispered. Because that's all I could manage. A whisper. My mother laughed. Actually laughed. Honey, everything in this house belongs to the family. And Jake, he's going places. You're just, you. Just me. Like being me was some kind of disease. Jake stood there, smirking. And he said, and I'll never forget these words. Thanks for the donation, sis. I'll think of you when I'm having fun. That night, I cried myself to sleep on a mattress on the floor. Because Jake got the bed. The nice bed. With the memory foam and everything. I got the hand-me-down mattress with springs that poked through. This pattern, it continued for years. Jake got the college fund. I got student loans. Jake got the family car when he turned 16. I rode the bus until I was 22. Jake got birthday parties and graduation celebrations. I got forgotten. Let me know in the comments where you are watching this video from. I'd love to know. Because I want to know if families like mine exist everywhere, or if I just got really unlucky. When Jake graduated college, debt-free, thanks to mom and dad, he moved back home. Rent-free, of course. While I was working 2 jobs, just to afford a studio apartment in the worst part of town. And the worst part? They acted like this was normal. Like Jake deserving everything, and me deserving nothing, was just the natural order of the universe. But here's what they didn't know. Here's what none of them realized. While they were busy worshipping Jake, I was learning. I was watching. I was taking notes. And I was getting stronger. Smarter. More patient. Because patience, as it turns out, is the most powerful weapon you can have against people who think they're untouchable. 3 months ago, everything changed. And it started with a phone call that I should have seen coming. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I was having my weekly therapy session. Yes, therapy. Because growing up in my family left some scars. Martinez and I were talking about boundaries, when my phone rang. Jake's name on the screen. Which was weird, because Jake never called me. Ever. Unless he needed something. Hey sis, he said. His voice all fake sweet. Like honey mixed with poison. I need a tiny favor. I should have hung up. Right then. But I didn't. What kind of favor, Jake? Well, you know how I've been dating Miranda? The lawyer? Well, her family is loaded. Like, country club, private jet, old money loaded. Of course they were. Jake always dated rich girls. It was like his superpower. Okay. I said slowly. Already dreading where this was going. So Miranda's parents are throwing this huge engagement party. Like, a real fancy thing. And Miranda, she wants to meet my family. My stomach dropped. Jake, we're not engaged. He laughed. Actually laughed. Oh no, not you. I mean, my real family. Mom and Dad. But here's the thing. Miranda thinks I come from money too. The silence stretched between us. I could hear him breathing. Nervous breathing. So, what exactly are you asking me? I need you to pretend to be the hired help. I blinked. Once. Twice. Excuse me. Look, Sarah, it's not personal. It's just. Miranda's family is super judgmental about class and stuff. And if they knew I had a sister who works at a grocery store. I'm an assistant manager, I interrupted. Right. Whatever. The point is, I need them to think I come from the right kind of family. So I told them Mom and Dad's house is our family estate. And that we have staff. My hands were shaking. Actually shaking. You want me to pretend to be your servant? Just for one night? Come on, Sarah. You know, you've always been good at staying in the background anyway. That line. That one line. It hit me like a truck. I hung up. Without saying another word. And I sat there, in Dr. Martinez's office, crying angry tears. Sarah, Dr. Martinez said gently. What are you feeling right now? I'm feeling like I'm done. But Jake wasn't done with me. Oh no. He called back. Texted. Even showed up at my apartment. Sarah, come on, he pleaded through my door. It's just one night. And I'll pay you. Like, $200. $200. To humiliate myself. For him. I opened the door. And I looked at my brother, really looked at him. Standing there in his expensive clothes, in front of my crappy apartment, asking me to degrade myself for his benefit. Fine, I said. His face lit up like Christmas morning. Really? Oh my God, Sarah, you're the best. I knew I could count on you. But I have conditions. He was already nodding. Anything. Name it. I get to wear whatever uniform I want. And I get to pick my own job title for the night. Deal. Whatever you want. He was so happy. So relieved. So completely clueless about what he had just agreed to. Because here's the thing about being underestimated your whole life, people stop seeing you as a threat. They stop being careful around you. And that's when they make mistakes. The engagement party was set for the following Saturday. At my parents' house. Which, by the way, Jake had somehow convinced Miranda was a family estate instead of a middle-class suburban home with fake marble countertops and a mortgage. I had 1 week. 1 week to plan. 1 week to prepare. 1 week to finally, give my family what they deserved. Before I tell you what I did next, if you're enjoying this story, please subscribe. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Because trust me, what happens next is going to blow your mind. I spent that week doing research. Deep research. Into Miranda's family. Into Jake's lies. Into every single secret my family thought was buried. And what I found, what I discovered, was so much worse than I ever imagined. Saturday night. The night everything fell apart. For them. I arrived at my parents' house at 6 p.m. sharp. Dressed in a crisp black uniform, complete with a name tag that read, Sarah, Estate Manager. Not servant. Not hired help. Estate Manager. Jake met me at the door. He looked nervous. Sweating through his expensive shirt. You look professional, he said. Like he wasn't sure if that was good or bad. Thank you. I take my job very seriously. The guests started arriving around 7. Miranda's family, oh my God. They were exactly what you'd expect. Polo shirts and pearls. Golf club memberships and trust funds. The kind of people who used summer as a verb. Miranda was beautiful. I'll give her that. Tall, blonde, perfectly manicured. She had that effortless elegance that only comes from generations of wealth. "And this is our estate manager, Sarah," Jake said when he introduced me. His voice tight. "She's been with our family for years." I smiled. "Sweet as pie." "Since childhood, actually." Miranda's mother, Mrs. Whitmore, looked me up and down. "How wonderful. It's so hard to find good help these days." "Oh, I'm not help," I said gently. "I'm management." The first crack in Jake's facade. He shot me a look. A warning look. But I was just getting started. As I served drinks, as I mingled with the guests, I listened. I gathered information. And what I heard confirmed everything I had discovered during my research week. The Whitmores were old money. Conservative. Traditional. The kind of people who cared deeply about bloodlines and breeding and family reputation. Around 8:30. Miranda's father cornered Jake by the fireplace. "So, Jake, Mr. Whitmore said, swirling his whiskey. "Tell me about your family business." Miranda mentioned something about investments. Jake's face went pale. "Oh, yes. Investments. Very diversified portfolio." I was standing nearby, pretending to arrange flowers. But really, I was recording everything. "What kind of investments?" Mr. Whitmore pressed. "I'm always looking for new opportunities." "Well," Jake stammered. We're very private about our strategies." That's when I decided. Right then. Enough. I walked over. Calm as could be. "Excuse me, Mr. Whitmore?" I couldn't help but overhear. "You're asking about the family investments?" Jake's eyes went wide. Like a deer in headlights. "Yes, Mr. Whitmore said." Though Jake here is being modest about sharing details. I smiled. Oh, Jake's always been modest. About everything. Including his trust fund. Trust fund? Mr. Whitmore raised an eyebrow. Oh yes. The one that was supposed to go to both children, but somehow, only went to one. The room was getting quieter. People were starting to listen. "Sarah," Jake whispered. "What are you doing?" "My job," I said sweetly. "Providing accurate information about the family." I turned back to Mr. Whitmore. "See, the thing about Jake's investment portfolio is that it's actually quite simple. It consists entirely of money stolen from his sister's college fund." Dead silence. Complete. Absolute silence. "What?" Miranda said. Her voice barely a whisper. "Oh yes," I continued. Pulling out my phone. "I have all the documentation right here. Bank transfers. Forged signatures. The whole paper trail." Jake lunged for my phone. "Give me that." But I was faster. Years of being the victim had taught me to be quick. "Ladies and gentlemen," I announced, my voice carrying across the room. "I'd like you to meet the real Jake Morrison. Not the trust fund baby you think he is. Not the successful businessman. Just a 30-year-old man, who still lives with his parents, and has been lying about literally everything." Miranda's face, oh God, her face went through about 15 emotions in 5 seconds. Confusion. Realization. Horror. Disgust. "You said you owned a tech company," she whispered. I do. Jake protested. I mean, I will. Once I get the funding. From where? I asked innocently. Your trust fund that doesn't exist. Or maybe from your next victim. Because that's what you do, isn't it, Jake? You find rich girls, you lie to them, you use them, and when they figure it out, you move on to the next one. I pulled up another document on my phone. Speaking of which, Miranda, you might want to know about Jessica. And Rebecca. And Amanda. All engaged to Jake. All dumped once he maxed out their credit cards. The room erupted. People talking over each other. Miranda started crying. Her father was turning red with rage. But I wasn't done. Oh no. I was just getting warmed up. And the best part? I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The absolute best part? Jake asked me to come here tonight, and pretend to be the hired help. Because he was embarrassed, of his own sister. Jake's mouth was opening and closing like a fish. No words coming out. So I thought, why not give him exactly what he wanted? A performance. A show. A complete and total revelation. The aftermath was spectacular. Miranda threw her engagement ring at Jake's face. And I mean, threw it. Like a fastball. It hit him right in the forehead, and bounced onto my mother's precious Persian rug. You're disgusting, she screamed. You're a liar and a fraud and we're done. She stormed out. Her entire family following behind her. Mr. Whitmore stopped at the door, turned around, and said the most beautiful words I'd ever heard. If I were you, son, I'd start looking for a very good lawyer. The house emptied in minutes. Guests fleeing like the place was on fire. Which, metaphorically, it was. And then it was just us. The Morrison family. Standing in our fake marble kitchen, for the last time as a complete unit. My mother broke first. Sarah, how could you? How could you destroy your brother's happiness like that? I laughed. Actually laughed. His happiness? What about mine, Mom? What about the 28 years of my happiness, that you sacrificed for his? That's different, she snapped. Jake has potential. Jake has a future. Had, I corrected. Past tense. My father, who had been silent this whole time, finally spoke up. What do you want, Sarah? Money? An apology? What? I want justice. And that's when I told them. About the lawyer I'd hired. About the lawsuits I'd filed. About the documentation I'd gathered, proving fraud, theft, and embezzlement. See, while I was pretending to be their servant for the night, I had actually become something much more powerful. I had become their reckoning. The legal papers arrived on Monday. Certified mail. Return receipt requested. Jake was being sued for, well, everything. The stolen college fund. The car they sold. 18 years of financial fraud. With interest. My parents were being sued as accessories. For allowing it. For facilitating it. For choosing to be complicit in the systematic theft, from their own daughter. But that wasn't even the best part. The best part was Tuesday morning. When I woke up to 17 missed calls from Jake. 17 voicemails of pure panic. Sarah, please, you have to call off the lawyers. Please. I'll pay you back. I swear. Sarah, Mom's crying. She hasn't stopped crying since yesterday. Is that what you wanted? Sarah, they're going to take the house. Did you know that? Did you know they could take the house? Yes, Jake. I knew they could take the house. I counted on it. Wednesday brought more calls. This time from my parents. Sarah, honey. My mother's voice was shaking. Can we talk? Can we work something out? We're family, my father pleaded. Family doesn't destroy family. But here's the thing they never understood. They destroyed me first. Every single day, for 28 years. I was just returning the favor. All at once. Thursday. Jake showed up at my apartment. Banging on the door like a crazy person. I opened it. And there he was. Unshaven. Clothes wrinkled. Eyes red from crying. Please, he whispered. I'll do anything. I'll get a job. I'll pay you back everything. Just, please, call off the lawyers. I looked at him. Really looked at him. And for the first time in our lives, he looked small. Jake, I said gently. Do you remember, when I was 15, and you took my car? He nodded. Tears streaming down his face. Do you remember what you said to me? When I begged Mom and Dad to make you give it back? He shook his head. You said. Life isn't fair, Sarah. Get used to it. I smiled. The same smile he used to give me. When he knew he had one. Well, life isn't fair, Jake. Get used to it. And I closed the door. Friday brought the eviction notice. Saturday brought the bank foreclosure warning. Sunday brought the car repossession notices. By Monday morning, exactly 1 week after the engagement party, my entire family had lost everything. Their house. Their cars. Their credit. Their reputation. Their future. Everything I had lost, slowly, over 28 years, they lost in 7 days. And me? I got a text message. From Miranda. Thank you. You saved my life. Jake was planning to ask me for a loan to invest in his fake company. I would have said yes. You're a hero. A hero. Imagine that. The little sister who was never good enough, who was just background noise, who didn't matter, had become the hero of her own story. So here I am. 3 months later. Sitting on my couch, in my same little apartment, sipping tea, and watching my brother's car get towed. Because yes. Jake still hadn't learned his lesson. After losing everything, he somehow managed to get another car. Financed through some shady loan company. And then, because old habits die hard, he stopped making payments. He called me yesterday. One last time. Sarah. I know things have been difficult between us. But I'm your brother. And I need help. I let him talk. Let him explain how he was homeless, how our parents had disowned him, how he had nowhere else to turn. What do you want me to do about it? I asked. Let me stay with you. Just for a few weeks. Just until I get back on my feet. I thought about it. I really did. For about 3 seconds. Jake, I said. Do you remember what you told Miranda's family? About me being hired help? Sarah. I was desperate. I didn't mean it. But you did mean it. Because that's how you've always seen me. As someone who exists, to serve your needs. That's not true. It is true. And you know what? You were right. I do exist to serve. But not you. I serve justice. I serve truth. I serve the idea that actions have consequences. So you won't help me? I smiled. Even though he couldn't see it through the phone. Oh, I am helping you. I'm helping you learn what it feels like to be me. For 28 years. And then I hung up. For the last time. The truth is, I don't hate my family anymore. Hate takes energy. And I need all my energy for building my own life. I got promoted at work. Assistant manager to manager. Turns out, when you stop letting people walk all over you, you discover you're actually quite capable. I moved out of my studio apartment. Into a real one-bedroom. With a kitchen that has actual counter space. I even started dating. Someone who treats me like I matter. Because I finally believe that I do matter. My parents sent me a Christmas card last year. Generic. Store-bought. With a handwritten note that said, "We hope you're doing well." I threw it away. Without opening it. Because some bridges, once burned, should stay burned. Jake. Jake is still out there somewhere. Still looking for someone to save him. Still believing the world owes him something. But not me. Never again. I learned something important through all of this. Revenge, real revenge, isn't about destruction. It's about reconstruction. I didn't destroy my family. I revealed who they already were. And in doing that, I finally discovered who I was. I'm not the forgotten sister anymore. I'm not the mistake. I'm not the one who doesn't matter. I'm Sarah Morrison. And I matter. My story matters. My life, my real life, finally matters. That's the most beautiful revenge of all. If you liked this story, check out this other one on the screen. It's about a woman who discovered her husband was cheating, and what she did about it. Trust me, you'll want to hear that one too. See you there.